The whole drama with FTX is now putting a lot of pressure on the future of crypto regulation. And obviously, with it being the biggest new case in crypto, it, in my opinion, also puts a lot of extra new eyes, but also a lot of extra new pressure on the Ripple versus SEC lawsuit. Now today, we have a couple of very interesting things about that to cover, so make sure that you press that like button and enjoy the show. Honestly, there's a couple things which are pretty damn crazy that I think deserve some coverage. Like, for example, the fact that the whole FTX drama, the whole biggest crypto chapter 11 yada yada yet, is really not hitting the guy, Sam Bankman-Fried, as hard as I would have expected. Now, in this video, I don't want to focus on only Sam Bankman-Fried and only FTX. We have a little couple of pieces on XRP, some insights as to some actual verified manipulation from Voyager. We'll talk about that in just a second. We have some crazy news over in the mainstream market that I also want to cover. And again, XRP's price today has been doing extremely well, so all that is coming up in this video. We have so much juicy stuff. The SEC, however, is central in all of this, and I'd say criminal stuff is also central. So let's quickly watch this video for 1.5 minutes.
Brought up fraud and conspiracy. What everybody needs to understand is we have to ask ourselves, why is this guy not arrested already? And trust me, there's a statute. It's called 18 USC section 1343. It's a wire fraud statute. And that wire fraud statute, doesn't matter they lives in the Bahamas. On top of that, Bahamas allows extradition to the United States. Doc, do you know how easy it is to get jurisdiction? All you need for wire fraud is one email to the United States, one account, one wire from a U.S. bank at any time to any of those entities. Think that ever happened? Any contacts with the United States? You could even never visit the United States. And if you involved any bank or any email, the U.S. government can assume jurisdiction over you. And then you brought up money laundering. That's another charge that isn't that difficult to prove. But for wire fraud, it's very easy. You can use a fax machine, a telephone, or an email or a bank account, and you get jurisdiction. And we've got to hold these people accountable who keep acting like here's this genius who was a big risk taker, and he just got ahead of himself, and market volatility and a perfect storm came and he lost it all, but he's a good guy. That's bullshit.
Yeah, there we go. I agree with that. I agree with that fully. They kind of gotta let loose of this idea that, oh, he was a good guy trying to do some good stuff. And honestly, that makes it all the more weird that the SEC is not going as hard after him as I would have expected. Now, Unusual Wills just reported on this. Congress members reportedly tried to stop the SEC's inquiry into FTX, per the prospect, with a March letter that questioned the SEC's authority to inquire about crypto and, in part, FTX. 5 out of the 8 received campaign donations from FTX employees, from $2,900 to $11,600. Representative Ted Budd, one of the signatories, received $500,000 in support from a super PAC created between FTX CEO, basically by FTX co-CEO Ryan Salami. Nice name. Now, that is, again, the thing you don't really see in the mainstream media, all right? All these little connections, all these little pieces. I don't see people talking about that. And on an opposite end, I have to give some credit where it's due. We don't really see all the parts where the SEC tried. And I wonder why Congress is not really making that a bigger deal either. It's just so very strange. It's just so very strange. Now, here's Fat Man saying, a verified insider has confirmed that FTX manipulated the Voyager assets auction in order to secure the winning bid. This was done to delay the recall of Voyager's loans to FTX and Alameda, which would have exposed Sam BF's fraudulent practices much earlier. More details are below. Now let's expose that. I mean, if we have these juicy details, let's cover them, right? In September, articles citing unnamed sources were released, describing Spheus concerns with Binance's Voyager bid. Information has been shared, with me indicating that these concerns were baseless, proliferated by M Group Communications, which was FTX's PR firm at the time. Now, Brian Brooks, scorned ex-CEO of Binance US and also previous head of the OCC, right? Who has been working with Reuters to generate hit pieces, is also on the Voyager board. And he has coincidentally been receiving sweetheart deals with FTX, such as paid speaking gigs in the Bahamas. And for clarity, these aspects have been fully verified, FTX publicly manipulating the Voyager bidding process and the real motive behind Sam Bankman-Fried's bailout. Now, the Brian Brooks link to the auction is speculative, but industry insiders believe it was likely another tactic employed by FTX. So, not too long ago, Sam Bankman-Fried was looking to bail out firms left and right. But why? Why push yourself in the spotlight when you yourself are deeply insolvent? Today we have an answer: self-preservation. Winning the Voyager bid was a key milestone in keeping up appearances. What would have happened if someone else won the auction? Voyager's estate would have recalled FTX and Alameda loans, and at that point, the house of cards would have crumbled, and the FTT solvency charade would have been exposed. This is why Sam Bankman-Fried was desperate to bail out Voyager. Allegedly, I should add. And now that we have that information, a lot of these quotes from, for example, Caroline, right, the CEO of Alameda, well, not anymore, when Binance basically said, hey, we're planning to sell a lot of our BTT, she came out, our FTT, and she came out to say, if you're looking to minimize the market impact of your FTT sales, Alameda will happily buy it all from you today at $22 because, well, we understand the other side. If they were to basically put it up on the market, this was basically done to keep up appearances, which is, in hindsight, a very smart endeavor. And guys, I'm going to be honest, I was going to leave that story right here, but I saw a meme just now that absolutely left me laughing for, I don't know, a couple minutes. Just take a look at this. When Alameda is selling their FTTs so they have dollars to buy, well, what? Well, more FTTs. Like, you know, I don't know. I had a really good time watching this, just pushing it back and forth. Because at the end of the day, indeed, they're buying the FTT to make profit to buy more FTT. It's like, yeah. To get back on the Ripple bandwagon, things are doing really well. I mean, if you've looked at Ripple's updates, things are doing pretty well. Let's quickly actually look at Ripple here over on Twitter if we can. I think they've been posting a lot of things regarding... Why is it not showing up instantly when I type in Ripple? That's kind of dumb. I'm not sure exactly who designed that, but that's stupid. Elon Musk, a little note for you right there, my boy. But yeah, they've been posting a lot about their newest endeavors over the last couple of hours here, last couple of days, actually. And yeah, a lot of these cool parts are about how they're changing the world, and honestly, I'm all up for it. I'm all up for it. To get back to the point, things are doing pretty good in the lawsuit. You guys gotta understand, things will most likely only keep getting better if things don't go bad. Let me reiterate. Things are just looking really, really good for them. You know, they've had a lot of support in the last phase of the lawsuit, and things are very much looking as if this is just going to be another little slam dunk. Digital Asset Investor asked, is this confirmed? December 5th, HIMA documents are released if no settlement, as somebody else was screaming that. Fred said this is incorrect. December 5th is when the reply briefs are publicly filed, but with redactions. I expect we see the emails there, but in redacted form. Later in the month, the court will decide on unredacting them. This month, let's just say the next 31 days, so the next month, so to speak, right, in actual days length, is going to be most critical because we're finally going to see a lot of details that have been hidden for us for the last couple of years. And even though I don't have a juicy update for you guys today, I think honestly that might have been why the price is doing so well right now for XRP. People are starting to notice things are really coming to an end. I should quickly go over to this as well. Guys, bank runs, they're a very common thing. You guys gotta understand. It's not as if crypto is the only place where you can have a bank run. They're happening in traditional spaces all the freaking time. And again, guys, if you're enjoying these daily crypto videos, two things: make sure you press that like button and make sure you turn that notification bell on. But Credit Suisse offers a 900 million shares to existing investors in $4 billion capital hike. Things are not doing so well for Credit Suisse right now. They're not going so well. People are taking the money out like crazy, and people are generally speaking just scared. You have to understand this. The general market conditions right now are just fear, fear, fear. I should also add quickly this. There's some crazy news that came out regarding Metamask that I'll cover a little bit later, maybe in a short format. Here's what your Metamask crypto wallet knows about you. They're basically starting to track your IP addresses, which people did not know, but that's kind of freaking sketch, right? That's kind of freaking sketch. Can't say I'm a big fan of it. But that's basically what's been announced just now. And yeah, people are obviously pretty fed up with this little news snippet. And of course, people in the XRP community were also happy to point out that this is, again, Consensus trying to reign over it all. But basically, Consensus, the company that owns Metamask, just updated its privacy policy to state that they are collecting your IP address and your ETH address when you send a transaction. Yeah, it's interesting. So option number 1 is stay with Metamask. If you want to stay with Metamask, you can change your RPC provider. Highly recommend Alchemy. Option number 2 is to go for example, Rainbow or Trust Wallet, which are other options. But damn, that's crazy, right? I don't want to leave it there for too long. I want to make a short little video explaining the whole situation yet again. But yeah, it's just not something that is very nice to read about. But that's, again, the truth behind some of these situations. Some truths suck. But that was it for today's video, guys. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you press the like button and subscribe to the channel. Well, most importantly, just have the notification bell on. I don't really care if you subscribe, but notification is important. And that was it for today. See you guys later in another one.